our group survey. And our OTD outfit of the day is black and white because based on our group survey, which will mention later, international students think that Taiwanese prefer to wear black and white. So we kind of like match their stereotype. And here's our outline. We divided the subject into 5 different concepts: dressing style, education system, social media, language, and etiquette. And first, let's start with simple introduction. We interviewed 15 international students, and the majority of them come from Europe. And it includes Norway, Germany, and France. And then is Asia, includes Thailand, Japan, and Indonesia, and Malaysia. And 2 of them come from Africa, Uganda, and the United States. And the gender distribution is around 50-50. And all of our interviewees is around 20 to 25 years old. And let's move on to the first concept, dressing style. The first question is, what kind of dressing style is common in your home country? And most of the interviewees say that they wear shorts or shirts, but I picked 3 special response. One from France said that most of the people in France wear relaxed but professional style, but no pajamas, no uniforms or revealing clothes. And one from Norway said that they don't wear uniforms, and in workplace, men don't wear shorts and women don't wear skirts. And Nadia from Indonesia said that some Muslims in Indonesia don't wear hijab. It's a kind of religional clothes. And the second question is about the differences in dressing style. They mentioned that most of the Taiwanese students wear uniform during the semester, but in European countries like France or Germany, they don't wear uniforms. Only private schools have uniforms. And most of the Taiwanese like to dress in earth tone or black and white, and in street style. And one from Indonesia also mentioned that the clothing style of Taiwanese is free and highly inclusive, because people in Taiwanese don't criticize others' outfits. And the third question is, what change or factors influence your dressing style? The majority of them say that they were influenced by social media, especially Instagram. And also 4 of them say that they were based on the weather condition. And also one interviewee said he would put environmental awareness into consideration. And the last question is, after coming to Taiwan, what changes do you think you've made to adapt to Taiwanese culture? And some of them say that they will remain the same, like wearing shorts or skirts, yes. But some of them say they did make some changes. They will start by some black and white clothes to adapt to Taiwanese dressing styles. And the last one is, they mentioned that they gain confidence in wearing shorts or skirts because Taiwanese has a highly inclusive cultural environment.
Okay, the next concept is education system. And the first question is about compulsory education in their home country. And as we can see, more than 70% of interviewees said that they have compulsory education in their home country. And they also talk about the attitude the government treated education. They think it's important for those kids to have education, and it's necessary. And it's also a cheaper choice for many families to choose. And the second questions are subjects taught in primary and secondary school. And in this bar chart, you can see that language and math are the most common subjects in these areas. And science and social science are also the popular subjects in these countries. And so we can know that those four subjects are the basic education, while arts, sports, and music aren't that common. And what's the difference between these two periods? And most interviews said that subjects get harder and more specific. Just like science, it can be separated into biology, physics, and chemistry. And it's just like Taiwan's education system. And according to these subjects, they have independent classrooms and teachers, not only one in primary school. And in Norway, they said they didn't have grade system until they get into secondary school. And the third question is about foreign students and more active in the course. And in this pie chart, we can see half of the interviewees agree with this concept. And they say that local students may have many thoughts, but they won't express them in the course. And four of them opposed against these ideas because they didn't think this situation in their course. And the last question is about academic stress. And just like in students in Asia, grades is also the most common stress in these countries. And it's because that parents and societies also have the concept that good grades means good future career. And in America, they said they will have financial situation. They need to worry about their tuition fees and living expense because their parents won't give them help. And it's quite different from Taiwanese because our parents will try hard to help us in our study. Yes. And so how do they reduce this kind of stress? And most of them said they will surf on the internet and share those math things with friends and enjoy their hobbies. And also, international student from America said he will manage his time well, and it helped reduce his generation of this stress. And I think it's helpful for everyone to cultivate this kind of habits.
Okay, the third concept is social media. Because social media plays a great role in connecting friends, so we wonder the difference in the usage of social media by countries. So the first question we ask is which social media platform moved to Taiwan to contact with Taiwanese classmates and friends. And nearly 70% of respondents said that use Line as the most used app to contact. And because Line has the function of creating group and community, and we can text and send some cute stickers to your friends. So it's popular among younger and older generation. Besides, some people use Instagram and Messenger to contact, but not as much as the former. And the next question we select is, what's the most used app in their hometown? And as we can see, in some countries like in Europe and American, they use Instagram or WhatsApp. But while in Asia, in some region in Asia, they use like Line and Instagram, like in Japan and Thailand. And besides, It is worth mentioning that in Russia, unlike other countries, they use VK. It is a common app in Slavic areas, and 80% of users use VK to contact. And the third question is about when they moved to Taiwan, did they use any social media that they didn't use in their home country? And most of the respondents said they use Line. And surprisingly, there are a small number of people say they started to use Discord because there are a lot of college students to use it to receive some Taiwanese information and trends. So as for the channel to absorb any news and fashionable trends, most respondents said they were surprised that Taiwanese people are more active in expressing their political opinion or discussing politics on the social platforms than our country. And about fashionable trend, the survey shows that only 4 people said they are affected by social media, but some said that when they moved to Taiwan, they start to wear masks because Taiwan pay more attention to the pandemic and have a lot of news coverage about it. And one girl said that she started to follow some Taiwanese clothes store accounts when they moved to Taiwan, and she can understand the fashionable trend nowadays.
In concept, we asked about the language. We first asked, what is your native language? And because among our interviewees that we have most Norwegians and followed by Thai. And they said that their native language is Chinese, French, German, Indonesian, Japanese, and Norwegian, Thai, English, Danish, Atazo, and Russian. And most of the language you can tell where they came from. But there is one special language called Atazo, and it is actually spoken by African culture called Waganda. Yes. And next is about, have you tried to learn Chinese? And all the interviewees said that they have tried to learn Chinese. So we asked about how long have you learned Chinese, and nearly 60% of the interviewees said they have learned Chinese more than 3 years, and there are least interviewees that they learned Chinese less than a year. And we asked about in which part of Chinese you found it difficult to learn. And chosen by most interviewees, the top difficult one is writing, and second difficult is the amount of the characters that you need to memorize, and the third one is pronunciation. And there are also some interviewees think that grammar and tone is difficult to learn. And we asked about how many languages can you speak. Surprisingly, most interviewers can speak at least 3 languages, and only 7.1% of interviewers can only speak 2 languages. So we asked them, what are the languages you speak? And we conclude that these top 3 most spoken languages among our interviewees. And without doubt that every interviewer can speak English, and nearly all can speak Chinese. I think there is only one interviewer that cannot actually speak Chinese. And unexpectedly, nearly half of our interviews can speak Japanese, and there is only one interview came from Japanese. So it's kind of interesting. And last questions we asked about in this section is it common for people in your home country to learn a foreign or second language? And as you can see in the previous questions that all of our interviews can speak at least 2 languages. Although our interviews cannot represent their home country, but I think it kind of shows that learning another language is kind of common in their home country.
Okay, as concept 5 is the part of etiquette. And first question we asked is are there any etiquette rules that you have in your countries that you have to obey while having a meal? And 14 of the interviewees said that they do have, and most of them reflects that they have to use forks and knives while eating, and it's important that you keep your mouth shut while chewing, and you have to maintain silence. The second question we asked is about, do you find the etiquette of flying in Thailand different from that in your country? And 13 of the interviewers said that they do. The main differences is that we use chopsticks while we eat, and a fun thing is that we have the spinnable table that we can order a lot of dishes to share with others. That people in Europe, they say that they don't have this kind of table in their country. And the third question is that are there any hand gestures that are considered to be offensive in your country? And nearly all of them said yes. And about 13 of them said pointing your middle finger is really rude and offensive. And then pointing at someone is also considered impolite. And the last question we asked is, are there any etiquette rules in your country when you talk to your boss or seniors? And all of them answered yes. You have to be extra respectful when you are responding to your boss and your supervisors as well. And the interviewees from Japan also mentioned that they have to use their formal Japanese to respond to their seniors. So for conclusions, I think we think that it's very crucial that we understand the differences between cultures so that we will not be impolite or rude while hanging out with foreign students. And I think this survey truly gives us a comprehensive knowledge of foreign cultures, and thus it broadens our horizons. Thank you. That will be our presentation.
Thank you. So can we start with any questions, comments, or suggestions? Yes.
Well, I would like to start from some comments because I think that your topic is very interesting, like social media and education systems and justice. And I also want to ask a question today. Can we go back to the justice parts? Like how do people find their this page? I would like to ask, do you think that the difference between the culture are that the dressing styles of the...
Sorry, can you repeat the question again?
Like, do you think that culture is the factors of how they find their dressing style?
I think, yeah, maybe because some of them come from like Russia or some like Africa. They don't really use social media like Instagram because it's not common in their country. So that they won't consider social media. So it's part of their culture.
Claire just said that there are some of the interviewees speak Japanese while only one Japanese. So did you ask them why do they want to learn Japanese?
No, we did not ask about this, so I don't know. I think maybe it's because Japanese culture include that anime or their drama kind of. It's very popular among the globe. So I think maybe it's the reason why they learn Japanese.
So like not those who know Japanese not only inclusive in Asia. There are some people from Europe.
Yes.
Good. Yes.
I also have a question about the dressing style. Is the next page. I wonder because in my own opinion, I think maybe USA or Europe are more open at the dressing style. So I wonder which country does the interviewee from? Which country does the interviewee who gives the opinion of gain confidence from?
People from a girl from Indonesia say that she gained confidence because people in Indonesia it's common in Indonesia to like complain or criticize others' outfits. So she said she felt very comfortable in Taiwan to wear all kinds of outfits.
Very good. Yes.
Do you think it's true that most of Taiwanese wear black and white color?
Yeah, because because we discussed our outfit yesterday, and most of us don't really have the same color, only black and white. Yeah, and when you walk in a campus, and you can also see lots of students wearing black and white or gray color.
Just curious, since you have touched about social media, so after the interview, you add those foreigners on Line or Instagram?
Most of the interviews we are done in the campus, so or outside, so we don't add their Instagram or maybe if we have the opportunity, we will.
Good. I think there were some really good questions. So, any further feedback?
I want to give a comment for the social media analysis graph. I think that it's really good to utilize the world map to analyze the social media they use.
Yeah, I think I do agree. Yeah, I think using a map is a good idea to really present the geographical differences. Very good.
Did you guys say many of them can speak more than 3 languages? And do you ask them like what kind of language they choose to be their second or third language?
No, not really.
We asked a student from United States and Russia, and they all say that they learn Spanish in school, in high school.
High school,
Yeah.
so it's a subject.
It's a second language they choose because they can choose any language they want to learn.
Or maybe it's because of the education system.
Yeah, and because Spanish is popular in the United States and most of the country.
I have a question. Yeah, I think again, so just to follow up on what Karen just asked about. I think in my impression, I think most of the Europeans are multilingual. So is it true among your interviewees, so students from Europe or European countries, they tend to speak more foreign languages. Is that true?
Yes, because in Asia, maybe we focus more on academic performance, and not just, we only learn like English or maybe the other language, but it's not popular to learn like 3 languages.
Okay, good. So maybe one more question, comment, or suggestion? Like anyone who hasn't spoken yet, feel free to speak. Okay, so if there are no further questions or comments, so then thank you very much for the presentation.